It's a big night ahead in the Champions League. 4 games this evening. Newcastle pretty certain to go through with their huge lead over Carabag. But who will join them? Our European football expert Dougie Critchley here to have a look ahead at all the games tonight. Right, what we're going to start with then, Dougie?
Well, why don't we talk about the English side? Newcastle 6-1 up against Carabag, of course. This was the 92nd time that a side has scored 5 or more goals in a Champions League knockout ties. And every single time prior to this game, obviously we don't know the result of tonight, the side has progressed. So it does feel very, very likely that Newcastle will go through. Of course, this was really the Anthony Gordon show. He scored 4 goals in this one. He's now on 10 in this year's competition. Only Kylian Mbappe has scored more. He's on 13. And actually, interestingly, Anthony Gordon is now Newcastle's all-time top goal scorer in the Champions League with 10. Overtaking Alan Shearer, the Premier League's all-time top goal scorer, which does also speak to the fact that Newcastle haven't played that many campaigns in the Champions League up until this Eddie Howe era. But an amazing performance against a Carabag side that got a draw at home against Chelsea earlier in this competition, but they'll be extremely comfortable. And it gives them a great opportunity to rotate in. Maybe Asula will play, Jacob Ramsey can continue his good recent form as well, Jacob Murphy potentially from the start as well. So a really comfortable night ahead for Eddie Howe's side, I would suggest.
OK, it's set to be, I guess a fascinating, I should say, night ahead at the San Siro. Run us through the scenario.
Yeah, so this is a really, really interesting one. So Bodo Glimt beat Inter Milan 3-1 at home. Bodo Glimt have only played 4 competitive games since the start of December because their league campaign in Norway doesn't start again till March. Inter Milan, meanwhile, have played 20. And normally there's that debate. Do you want to be fresh? Do you want to be in the rhythm? On this first leg, it seemed like Bodo Glimt really benefited from the lack of minutes in their legs, let's say. Jens Peter Høge grabbing a goal in this one. And they've now won 3 consecutive games in this competition, beating Man City, beating Atletico Madrid. They're just the 4th side from outside of the top 5 leagues to ever win 3 consecutive games in this competition. Meanwhile, Inter Milan responded at the weekend. They beat Lecce 2-0. They're now 10 points clear in Serie A. But I think Christian Kivu, their manager, has to take some responsibility for this defeat in Norway. He rested Zielinski, who's probably been their star midfielder this season. He rested Federico Di Marco, who's probably been the outstanding wing-back in the entirety of Europe as well. He's on 6 goals and 15 assists this season. And those decisions really came back to bite him. I would be very surprised if they managed to keep a clean sheet against Bodo Glimt, given their recent form. But Inter Milan have a fantastic recent record of reaching the final, did so in 2023, did so in 2025 as well. So they cannot be underestimated. But this one has a real feeling of a potential shock on our hands.
Oh, OK. So next up, the tie of the round, I think, last week came in here. 6 goals. Atletico Madrid, Club Brugge. Who's going to be the favourites for this one, then?
I think Club Brugge could pull off a shock here, Hayley, as well. This is the first time that Atleti have ever failed to win a game. They've been 2-0 up at half-time, but they really did disintegrate in that second half as well. And this is an Atleti side that really haven't been their self in this competition. It feels like a long time ago, because it was a long time ago that they reached 2 finals in 3 years, in 2014 and 2016. They've conceded 7 goals from set pieces alone in this year's competition, a joint high alongside Eintracht Frankfurt. They do have Julian Alvarez, who's been in brilliant form in this year's competition. They got back to winning ways at the weekend, beating Espanyol 4-2 with Alexander Soroth grabbing a brace. Ademola Lookman started very well. But at the other end of the pitch, this Diego Simeone reputation for really solid defensive play has completely gone out the window in recent years, and their Champions League form has been really, really poor this year. Club Brugge, Rafael Onyedika had an outstanding game in that first leg in midfield. Hans van Aken also created 3 chances as well. Players to watch out for Club Brugge. I think they could win. I really do think they could win. So we could potentially see Bodo Glimt and Club Brugge going through if it goes to form, let's say, because Atleti have been so disappointing in this year's Champions League.
OK. Look, just finally, quickly, Bayer Leverkusen 2-0 up against Olympiacos. They're at home tonight too, as well. Do you expect a comfortable night for them?
I think so. They got their first ever away win in the Champions League knockouts in the previous game. Patrick Schick scored a brace. That's the first Bayer Leverkusen player to score a brace in a knockout tie for Bayer Leverkusen since 2002, when Michael Ballack did so against Liverpool. El Kaabi did have a goal ruled out for offside, but Schick scoring twice, and I think it was 144 seconds, gives them a big advantage. They did lose at the weekend against Union Berlin, but Olympiacos got back to winning ways. They won in their own domestic league 2-0 as well. But I think this tie feels like potentially the most done aside from the Newcastle Qarabag tie. I'd be very surprised if Bayer Leverkusen didn't go through. And after struggling so far to qualify for the Champions League automatically, in the Bundesliga they currently sit 6th. The Champions League's really been their shining light of this season.
OK, a lot to take in, a lot to look forward to. Thank you very much,
Pleasure.
Dougie. Cheers.